Hello, welcome to Will Forge. Today we will forge. It is late. I'm probably going to have very few viewers today because of how late I'm starting. But then again, I took a few days off, so maybe people have been waiting for me to come back. So, who knows. But let's see. Today, I wanted to break out of what we were doing before, where we were, obviously forging what we've been forging for a while, and take a short little foray for today into trying to art out this map for Ripshade, because this is the map that Ripshade gave me. Is very cool. This is the one he was wanting me to art out. It's very cool. I like its layout. I know it looks maybe hard to tell, but whenever you get into it and you're playing it, a lot of these are really nice angles and things like that. Good height advantage, good contest points. And I really like how he did things like this over here, where he's got this slope, and there's some other areas. Let's see, where is it? Trying to figure it out again. These, like where it's, whoop, there's a invisible object there, where you have to do that, right? You have to clamber, but if you hit it just right, because this invisible block isn't here, then you can crouch jump it instead, because he's got that slope there. And he's got some cool combo. He's got some cool like variable options around the map like that are really cool. Anyway, the point of this is that I eventually wanted to be able to completely help him art this out like he requested. It's very much just a block out, so there's like clipping and all sorts of things like that. And with the intent of making it look like he's named it a lunar base. I think a lunar base would be pretty cool. It could just be a floating space station. Either way, he was not too. He told me he didn't really mind what it was. And what I want to do is I want to use this to create the scalable, a scalable map where you go into it and there's you hit a button and you go in with like 4v4 and it's just 4v4 map. You go in with 8v8 and it's going to open up doorways that go out and around and add on to the map. So right now it's just his layout, and it's probably going to be just his layout for a while. I might ask him to come in and help me do the layout for him. I think he was setting up like big bright blue here colors, and that's kind of cool, but I think I want to do more of the subtle style where you where you basically use some like subtle lighting and things like that to get it to communicate that red versus blue side. But yeah, it's very promising. There's like an elevator, a little access elevator, maybe. I mean, it's a very specific elevator with like a power weapon on it, power weapon. But maybe with a whenever you get enough players in here, yo, this is my brother's map. Hey, cool. I didn't know you were brothers. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna try and art this out a little bit today. I'm gonna get started. So I'm probably not gonna get a lot done today, mostly showing it off. But I'm gonna start because I realize we've got like a month left before the Forge Hub contest is over, and technically this would totally qualify. Like if I arted this out, we could do a team, we could do, we could both submit it, and if we win, we could split it. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna win, but we could split the money from it, and that would be pretty cool. If I don't get it in time, then we won't be able to, but that's okay. I can try, you know what I mean? Basically I was thinking about if you wanted to ask him or let him know I'm doing this, I had one question for him, was if he wanted to come back in at some point and help me block out the additional portions, because I want to make it expand into a big team battle map as I talk to him. But I'll talk to him again. I'm just saying that he's not chatting with me right this second, so I was wondering. So if you know where he is. I didn't try to yet, but yeah. Anyway, I'll do that actually at Ripshade. That would make sense to let him know I'm arting his map. Hey, I'm starting to art your map today on stream. I figure if we can get it done in a month, we could submit it to the Forge Hub 4v4 contest. Okay. So now let's try and start figuring out some special blocks to put in here to replace some of these original blockout blocks, or what should stay and be retextured and just have additional detail added. For example, doorways. The doorways are already well layered. He did this, like, you know, cool slope, you know, combo that makes it feel very well layered. The downside is, because he used floor angled, there is only one swatch, so this side and this side have to be the exact same swatch, which is, you know, a minor downside, but it is a downside, and it makes it to where, like, if we like this concrete, you know, like, I think he did it for the slope, or I mean for the lines going across this side, because it looks like it could be like doorway grips kind of thing, or something to that effect. But this is, but on over here, it may not fit exactly what we're doing for the wall. So, yeah. But then, yeah, mostly we just gotta get this sorted and stuff. Okay. Trying to think of how to. We need to figure out a plan for each room. And then figure out how to transition them, I think, is the main thing. And I had talked to him about, where is my, I had a screenshot up here. Where is it? That was just like, I was showing him, I was pointing out how it feels a lot like, in its layout, whoa, oh, right, you know, we've got to go to our YouTube music. Where's our stream music? Here we go. Man, almost forgot to turn on the stream music. There we go. It's a fun map to play on. I like the unpredictable movements, like you might know where you are, but not 100%. That's what Infinite is missing with their maps. Everything is predictable. Yeah, I agree, and I also feel like technically some of that will even bleed out, like cure, like sort of cure, you know, like solidify, like curing is in like hardening of materials. Or drying. Whenever it's arted, it will have, you know, each room will be less of the solid gray, so it'll still have that because of the design, the layout. But then, as you get used to the map, you'll start to be able to intuit your way through the map without having to, like, know, you know what I mean? You won't be thinking where you are; you'll just be there. So this map right here, Condemned, was a cool one. Back in Halo Reach. It was the one with the 0G area in the middle. That was like around the, I can't remember if that was a reactor. It's just center core. Well, this is a generator, so I guess that wasn't the reactor. But, yeah, anyway, this kind of thing is really cool, and I thought that this would be a good idea to try to emulate. So this is going to be off on my other screen. While I'm doing this, not as a one-to-one guide, obviously, or anywhere close to that, but, like, you know, as a sort of example. You know what it kind of looks like from above? If that was an eye, and that was an eye, and that was an eye, like AI, like robot eyes, that would be mendicant bias right there. Didn't really think about that before. That's kind of cool. So obviously these areas, these large platforms here with the like ramp coming down and all this kind of stuff, are a clear area for access to additional rooms whenever I do script it to start to expand outward, right? And then the ramp kind of feels like a loading zone, like a vehicle would be able to come in here to deliver supplies to store here in this base, right? Maybe do the center map circle glass so it feels like in space floating more. I don't know. Well, yeah, no, I was thinking that I think what he's got here is moon rock, because I think he was originally thinking in terms of this being a lunar base, and that's why he called it lunar base. So he's got some natural stone floors in several rooms, and I do like that. And I think that it could very well be a lunar base. It could be a space station. If I was doing like a loading zone here with vehicles, it would be a lunar base style thing to put in there. Otherwise, maybe forklifts, and it would just go to, you know, supply, like storage rooms and things like that over there. And I could theoretically have 2 there and there, like as if it's got like, you know, like nacelles, which are those, like in Star Trek, they've got the engines that go alongside. Those are called nacelles. They sort of protrude out from the ship and have those on the sides. Real boats have them too, and you know, sometimes. But anyway, so like that would make this a really good, like, this is where they coordinate, you know, those sorts of loading and unloading, or a security room. And I really like the idea of it being a security room, because it could be like, if it is a lunar base and these are one of the main ways in and out, then you need security to sort of like safeguard that area, which would imply that the rest of the area is you know, it's important. You know what I mean? You don't want anyone getting in that isn't supposed to be there. And so I really like the idea of these being loading and unloading rooms, personally. Because it also, let's see, where's the elevator? No, elevator's opposite. So, let's see. The elevator is, okay. So that would make this not a loading elevator, but a staffing elevator, probably. It is a little bigger than the opening. We will have to scale it down a bit, or scale up the opening. But yeah, but this could theoretically, this would be probably like. The question would be if this is for loading. Whoa, I just bugged out. What's up with that network? Okay. Oh boy, Forge, what are you doing? That was weird. Whenever I go on that one, it bugs me down. And it's not the map, I know, because I played on it, never had that trouble. But it does appear to be happening right now, probably because of a network issue or something. Anyway, let's see. How cool would it be if the elevator goes up and down, but when it goes down, it's a tunnel to the other side of the map where the lift goes? That would be really cool. I really like that. And because I was also thinking that, to a degree, I was thinking that if we scripted the elevator to move up and down, then but it only does it during whenever you have more than 4v4, you know? During a 4v4, it moves to this location and it locks and it stays there. During whenever there's no 4v4, maybe we even like temporarily delete this, because I think that whenever you don't have 4v4, we will have to rebalance weapons. So whenever you have too many players, some of these weapon spawn pads might need to either turn off or delete, basically. Be like, I think you can just like turn them off to where they don't create a weapon, but yeah. And then that way, yeah, that could go up and down, and then that would maybe connect over to where the supply room is. Like if they deliver the supplies here, and then there's like a freight elevator over here for that stuff to go up and down. And then over here, it's like the other way, up and down from that lower area. Then the lower floor would be a storage room. Which would add a whole layer to that, and we can make it a cool, like, blocked out, interesting design, not like let's build a storage room and just put a bunch of crates in there and make it boring. You know what I mean? That's why I almost don't want Ripshade to know that I'm gonna do it as a storage room and just tell him it's a downstairs area, because he built all this not thinking in terms of what I'm interpreting it as, you know, for the arted version. So it makes me think, like, if he knows, will he build it being like, oh, there's a storage room, now I need to make it a storage room and have that in his head, and then that'll limit his creativity for the level design? Or should I, you know, or would it be better if he doesn't know what I was going to do down there? As far as the freight elevator is concerned, I just tell him I want it to be a large elevator that can carry, like, supplies in and out of the base, you know, and maybe, you know, that way he'll know how big to make it and everything like that. But I don't know, maybe he should know, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to affect his what he creates. But yeah. The main reason I was thinking this today is because I was like, I want to get away from making you know, the structures out of objects I'm not allowed to scale because they have to be dynamic objects for just a little. I want to get away from that for a bit and take a little bit of a break from it. So, and most of what's left in the other one is arting areas and building those, and I need those to be built to be able to make sure my budget doesn't go too high, doesn't ramp up too much. So, yeah. So I figured I'd come over here and do this instead. Because, yeah. Okay, so let's see. So I like what he's already done here. I like these like sort of slope things. I think there's some like gaps and stuff that just need to be cleaned up. And like I was saying, I think the solid colors are cool, but I think that, for example, if you go look at what Red Nomster did in his cyberpunk one, this is a good example. He has this cyberpunk map. Just realized, yeah, this is the area you grav lift up to. No, can you even get up here? I don't remember getting up here. Yeah, you're not even allowed to. It's out of bounds. Wow, we can actually open that up and make that part of the extended version of the map. Whenever the elevator goes up and down, it could theoretically rise. It could, it should probably rise all the way to the top, and we can make those walks into sort of catwalks into something. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, sorry, Red Nomster did his cyberpunk map, and in his cyberpunk map, he did like this really subtle thing where like his brick that the buildings were made out of, he put them as a subtle, like really low, subtle shade of blue or red, as a like to intuit yourself that you know that you're at red base or blue base, and he did that with a bunch of different areas, and it was really cool. So that's the kind of thing that that can be done. I think you won't need this blocker. I'm not sure why he put the blocker here if he's got glass. Because he shouldn't need it if he's got glass there. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, let's try to get started. Like, I'm just talking and like showing it off and but yeah, I mean, I guess talking is one of the main parts because I didn't get to go to the next part because I do need to talk about this. So if these are loading areas and there's going to be some kind of freight elevator or whatever, and then this is the grav lift. With the grav lift, we might put an invisible one and turn it into a part of like the air filtration system of the space station, because you would want that going up from like a you know, you need to filtrate your air down in the storage room, and that would give us an excuse for why it launches you up, because the way it's built, being one of these one of the visible ones, launches you, and it's like the only downside is that these are the ones that work in Forge, and so to test it you have to go out of Forge, so it'll end up being, it'll look like it's bad, but it's, yeah, it'll look like it doesn't work, but it does work. Let's see. I almost wonder if we could turn this into a way to drop down into the storage room from above later, so that's important because whenever I go to art it, I need to know what it's doing. So I'm kind of thinking in terms of future layout as well. Okay. I know he was concerned about the center because he wasn't sure about what to do with it. And I was thinking about I was trying to think about it. I was considering the center being a reactor. And like these could be like this platform could be part of the center of the reactor. Like there could be a pool of water with glass over it. With a reactor in the middle, but like a nuclear reactor style thing. But I'm not certain just yet. I wanna figure out all the other rooms as I figure out the center. Okay, so if this is a security room, then it would attach to here. So what would this be? This might be more of a like personnel. He's got the benches. This is where people spawn in. I loved the idea of like, yeah, they just got off the benches and now they're posed here, because whenever you start the match and the camera's looking at you right here, it's pretty great. And then you got the window looking out. It's very cool. Over here is a perfect area for doorways. So like I could put, I'll just toss in a door real quick. Where are the doors again? Right now I'm thinking it's in UNSC, if that's correct. Right now it's like, you know, sometimes I forget where things are. Almost every time I forget where things are, actually. Let's see. If there is a way of organizing this in a different way, that would be that's more intuitive. That would be something I would like them to do eventually. Let's see. Roof, target trim, UNSC, catwalk, crane, duffel bag, generator, power core. Okay. Wall tech. Yeah, I think it's in. I think it might be in a different one. I think it's in like doorways in like the structures section or something. Yeah, it's. Unless there's a section called doors in here, which maybe. No. Okay. Cool. All right. Here we go. Up here, they've got structures. I think it's in here. Doors. Yeah, doors. Okay. Massive gate. Massive welded gate. If it's a moon base, we could theoretically use massive welded gate, but as the entrance for the vehicles and stuff. But what I was actually considering was just slapping in a... I could have sworn... Yeah, it's this one. Oh, UNSC tank door. Ooh. That's weird. I just realized that that texture is for some reason not... What's going on? It's like sand texture. Oof. Okay, I'm just going to slap this in like that, and I thought I was going to snap it to that middle, but it's trying to snap to the side. Anyway, like have a doorway there, maybe a couple of smaller doorways, something that would go to personnel, and maybe even make that open. And it could wrap around, let's see, okay, we've got this area. Let's see. You've got the that's the elevator there. We could have like ooh, what if we had administrative up here? So where it could like look over the base and sort of like, you know, watch what's happening. That might be a good idea. I think having lots of security rooms here is going to imply that this is a very top secret area. So having these 2 security rooms will be cool, but maybe not even enough, and we want to have more. Like seriously, like actually put like that many. This area, okay. So you've got all these nice, you know, staircases over here, right? That go down and around. It feels very much like, hey, this is where the personnel would be walking around and going about their tasks. If we don't go nuclear reactor in the middle, then a forerunner object in the middle being studied would also work, and that would be very cool. Okay. We've got elevators. We've got walkways. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you've got this cool... This window over here is really interesting to like... to take advantage of. To like hop over here and get people. Okay. Okay, I think that one thing I want to do will be that I want to put something like a light that's going to sort of like scan you as you enter the security room. Possibly a light coming out of the security room that will sort of like you pass through it and it like scans you. It's like a metal detector style thing. We've got the ductwork there. Okay, I mean the launcher over here. Which will launch you all the way to the top if you hop down into it right there. Okay, so yeah, I've just been walking around. I need to. I don't want. It's partially out of because I just need to talk about the ideas first. That hole is not intended to be there. Partially because I feel like I just went. I'm talking about the layout first and how I would what each room will be. But partially because I wanted to. You know, I needed to, yeah, I forgot what I was about to say. Partially because I was wanting to walk around, but partially because I just felt like I needed to, get a grip of it again as I was going through. But it really is, it's a great map. Like, the subtle high side, low side here, for example, which requires you to, like, you know, if you're not sprinting and you jump, you gotta clamber and all that kind of stuff, or you can hop to the side. But like, there's a lot of different like ways back and forth and stuff like that. Now, why would you need this? I'm thinking about that doorway gap. I'm trying to think of why you would make a doorway gap like cut out like that. And I'm thinking that if this is where personnel are, this is engineering, then we would have like an extendable bridge here. Maybe this is a sort of emergency exit that will extend whenever necessary. Maybe it's maybe things have to be able to travel through here, and so they keep the bridge taken apart. Like if some kind of, you know, objects move through here, like we could put a crane up top that sort of goes across and have like a little crate hanging from it that won't get in the way of the lockout, or maybe something that does get in the way. Maybe he'll like the idea of putting a bit of a break up the action between here with like a crate up there or something. But I think that that would be good. It's something like that would be good. We'll just look into it. And let's see. Okay, so let's do it. Let's start marking our areas. This ramp coming down is clearly like a loading unloading zone. And why would it lead into this room? What would this room be? And this is cool. Like, what's this? What is this balcony, for example? You know, overlooking the loading and unloading. So I'm feeling like this room might end up becoming something specific. Like, if that's administration over there, what do you need over here? Like, that's where the offices are. Whereas this might be where the like the foreman, like the person who's managing the area. Like this could be an Overwatch. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be an Overwatch for watching, for you know, for like, you know, truck fleet kind of thing. You know, they have the where it's coming in and out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm liking the idea of these being loading and unloading zones. I don't think those would be in a space station, so I think it will be a moon base, like he originally designed it. I think that deviating from that would not benefit us too much, even except for, of course, being able to put like glass in the floor and it going to nowhere. It could be an asteroid, like you know what I mean, like maybe a derelict Forerunner structure. They're trying to that like a Forerunner ship or space station that got covered in rock as it floated through space for the last 100,000 years, and they're trying to dig it out. And maybe this is, you know what I mean? So then instead of a reactor in the middle, maybe be the Forerunner structure sort of poking up out of it, and they're sort of just trying to salvage it. You know? That could be a good one. In which case, the exterior of the building could come out and around and have, like, you know, you would drive around on that giant asteroid, almost moon-sized asteroid, but at the same time, you could theoretically still have holes through the asteroid that show out into space. Which would be kind of really interesting. But yeah, and it would actually be kind of important to do that, to sort of give you a sense of scale of how far away things could be. But actually, a glass door, okay, if we're going to put the storage facility underground, then either the storage would have to go out around the center if we want to put glass here, or if we do put glass here and we have a Forerunner structure in the middle, then that would mean that you could look down at the Forerunner structure sort of stretching out into the abyss. And in the storage room, we could theoretically even have windows on the sides of it looking down, maybe sloped side windows looking down into the abyss that are down there as well. And that would be pretty interesting. Yeah, I think I like that. So instead of a doorway to space, we're going to have space in the sky. And instead of like a window looking down at space, we're going to have space up above us. And down below us, we will have this Forerunner, you know, dig site inside this rock. Now, it's not perfectly centered, that piece, I don't think. But maybe? But it's pretty decent. It just needs to be... make sure it's all properly aligned later. But yeah, I think that, yeah, I like it. Okay, so I need to start actually arting if I'm going to art this thing. Okay, so if this is an elevator, and this is, I believe the intention is that this is either, I don't think this is supposed to be a giant block as a terminal for controlling it. I think that that is supposed to be some kind of gear that goes in the wall, so we need a track that goes on that wall. Or if not a gear, then something else. But yeah, I think we need a track, and the idea is that gives you a little bit of high ground on top of it. So like, let me show how this works. You've got this, and then if you go up here, it sort of cuts line of sight to where people across the way can't shoot you. And it also sort of limits line of sight for that. Like, oh no, I'm getting shot at from over there. Hop up here, they can't see me. Now they have to come down into that platform to see me, and now I have advantage. Or I can come up here and straight up flank them if I feel like doing so. So that's the intent of this block, is I think to make it so that you don't have to clamor. And also so that you can, you know, use it in the middle of a firefight to just immediately cut off line of sight by going vertical. Let's see. Okay, so we want to put like a giant, I'm assuming he wants like a giant, like his intention was like a gear here, like I was saying, and a large machine that looks like it's holding a gear with like a sort of, you know, or maybe a magnetic rail. Doesn't have to be specifically mechanical. But the point is that, yeah, something there going up this wall as part of the art of the wall would be ideal. I think it would also kind of be cool if we put doors here and here going into this administrative section as we wrap around as well. And the reason being because when it turns on and it becomes a because you have too many players, you don't have a 4v4 anymore, and it becomes a big team battle map, or a you know, we'll do 2 versions or 3 versions. I feel like it'll turn on whenever you put in 4v4, it'll be a 4v4 map. Whenever you put in, you know, 8v8 like classic big team battle, it'll be like that scale map. And then you throw in 12v12 and you'll end up with an actual like true big team battle map, but like an infinite one. Anyway, if we put doorways there, it'll be cool because this kind of feels like, you know, why is this the way the elevator works one of these? Why isn't it like struts going up the sides or something? And the reason would be because you need to be able to get to those doors. You know what I mean? Like the elevator is built to facilitate the layout of this building, and this one will be like a tower. I kind of want this tower to look like an Oni tower. I don't know about you guys, but like I kind of want it to go like UNSC or like just you know, human structure into an ominous Oni tower overlooking the rest of the map. And I feel like that'd be really cool. And the way that he's built it already fits. Like this could be an Oni structure very easily because of the way it looms over the rest of the battlefield. Whereas the rest of this feels very much like it's doing a job. This is all like almost like scaffolding style of structure. Whereas that one is looming and impregnable looking. You know what I mean? Like getting inside there would require you to be a Spartan. But yeah, okay, so, and I like the way he built this out with the columns like this, and I'm gonna probably art it out using that same similar like column system or setup. But okay, so we want and since I was talking about the idea of this being a like Forerunner dig site and a Forerunner structure sticking up out of the a sort of you know, railing, like glass sort of display almost of what's underneath, I feel like an Oni building right next to it would make a whole lot of sense. So maybe the whole thing was Oni, but technically the rest of it just looks UNSC, or looks like a regular human structure and all like mechanical and stuff. Okay, so I think that means we need to go into... I'm surprised they don't have an Oni section in here, to be honest. Like, some of the objects that they have in UNSC could be classified more as an Oni style than a UNSC. And I feel like it would have been cool to have a separation of those, just as almost as a nod, you know what I mean? But it also would have helped, like, yeah, I don't know, maybe a human section with Oni and UNSC inside, you know what I mean? But let's see... I want... this, by the way, is a clever trick that I learned from Red Nomster, is you can, like... Whoops. Just wanted to show this off real quick. You can make, like, a rug by, like, scaling these up. Hold on. I've got a snap-on that I didn't intend to have. You can make, like, rugs and stuff like that by, like, scaling them up and, like, all sorts of stuff. Be kind of cool. Anyway, sorry, that was if I'd made it thicker I could have gotten rid of those side railings and still made it look like a rug. But anyway, the point is, I just saw it, I thought it reminded me of it. Let's see, okay. So, the gun mount flaps I've always wanted to use for certain things. And what I was thinking was, we've got a lot of openings into space, right? And like loading zones and stuff. Then these might actually come in handy. This one in particular has a very unique style of like strut. So like what you can do is you can switch this one up so that it's not the UNSC. Is it the trim that's causing the problem? No, that wasn't it. Okay, down here, tarp borderless. Yeah, it's that inner part. It's got those lines on it already, but you can break it up with other textures that make those lines sort of vanish. And you could do like, I think, like concrete, for example, looks really good here. Since it's gonna be since it won't be a space station, but more of a moon base, then the idea for that would be it'd be pretty good for making it out of concrete, because you would want to utilize the materials you have there. You don't want it to fly all of your materials to the space station. So a lot of this would be concrete made out of the stone of the asteroid. But yeah, anyway, let's see. There's a good one with good struts. We're going to be using a lot of struts in this. That's why I'm looking for those and like pointing them out. This one's got nice like mechanical components built onto it that can be used for decoration very nicely, including a window that you can use for like sight lines and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Did I just end up going all the way to the back? Darn. Okay, let's see. Gun mount panel, girder, control terminals. Like, this is a decent column. It's a very obvious column that a lot of people use for columns. Because of how obvious it is, but it could still, it's still a good one. So, I mean, it could theoretically still work here. I don't know if I'd use this one necessarily because it's got the concave and then the wall would go into that. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we'd have to see. I think that if I scale it to height, then it will put that brace. Yeah, I was just thinking of that this lower brace would be good there. It would also be cool as like a lintel looking thing by having that sort of go there, and then of course we're not going to accept it as just a cube. We might bring this in and make a nice doorway out of it. We also need to bring it in this way because it's too wide to, or also change up our block out too much. And we would have this. The one downside is the way it looks on the inside, which means either we would have to make our wall come out of it differently or change how it is, like maybe well, actually that's not bad as long as the way it comes out is arted a specific way. Like, it doesn't have to be a flat wall. It could theoretically come and like go into it or something like that, and that would be an artistic thing, and it would change a little bit of how grenades bounce, but not that much. I guess it would alter how the elevator looks going up and down. So the elevator, before we even art this this shaft and this structure, I feel like we need to get this elevator working correctly. So we need to figure out dynamic objects that will fill out this shape and still work. So there I am trying to take a break from dynamic objects, and immediately this area needs me to use them to art that out. So I am going to take a break from dynamic objects and move over here, and we'll figure that out later, because it's not going to be too hard to figure out. But yeah, let's see. I almost, because of the way that I like this being like a loading and unloading platform, I almost feel like literally keeping the concrete look of this area. Obviously this needs to be replaced with a triangle, so that doesn't have to be lower like that. But other than that, it's like pretty spot on. What is this, an actual floor angled standard? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go with a wall piece here though. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to this, and we're going to make this loading unloading zone actually a thing. Let's see. In walls, where is it? It should be with W's. Duh. Why am I stopping? Wall. Okay. In the wall section, they have a wall cube angled. And this one should do here quite nicely. And then we can even like make a different color top from bottom. And actually, it's almost to scale. Let's see, since this is a right angle, I almost want to make that one match this one. Just because it wouldn't really make much of a difference in the actual ramp. Yeah, I might do that just to make this, because this is a perfect right angle. It feels like it might work out pretty well that way. Are these not all snapped at the same height? Yeah, they're not. Okay. So I gotta clean these up just a bit. Anyway, that might actually... Oh wow, now I need to scale it down to make it fit. Okay, there we go. And then this one might be snapped to those. Nope, it was too low. There we go. Oh, I see. Oh, he's got multiple blocks clipping into one another instead of using cubes. I see. He was using longer pieces, and then I think he liked the... I think he was saying the same thing as me, liking the way that the edges were, like, worn looking. Yeah. And he wanted to make them wear a little better. They all have to be at this height, too, so I actually need to bring them down to this one's height. Or just bring up this ramp just a tad. Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem because it does clip into the ground. There's plenty of it underground, I think. Nope, it goes down to there. Okay, so I might just have to adjust some heights, scales, and things like that, like on these ramps. But, let's see. It was pure, it looks like he was tapping into pure, like, layout. And, you know what I mean? Like, not thinking in terms of like, like how everything is perfectly connected together. He was just thinking, let's look at the final product, which is a good way to do it. Okay, where's my... wrong one. This map is a blast to play on. Sorry, I'm watching but in a meeting, lol. Yeah, no, that's cool. Oh, wait, are you taking a break from a meeting at work to watch me stream? That's kind of funny. But yeah, so okay, I think I might need to go a little bit taller, unless it's the problem is that it's clipping inside. Oh, it's that they're blocks. Oh, they're not slopes. I might replace these with slopes to accomplish the same thing. It does have a nice, like, they're kind of like worn in a very straight pattern style. But you can get like the same thing out of like this, you know what I mean? You can accomplish the same thing with this. So I'm gonna probably switch that out with this. And one thing that I really like is having a like frame for your ramp. I don't know any other way of describing it, but it's kind of like a frame for your ramp. And so like, why is this not snapping to there like I told it to? Or like I thought I told it to. Okay, cool. So that is clipping in there really nicely. This piece could very easily snap to there and look fine and not be a problem. Okay. So what I was thinking was, like, if you put, like, I'll just use this as an example. You can sort of frame ramps, and I really like it whenever you do that. You know what I mean? Where it can all still be concrete, but you can use a different shade of concrete, like these already are, to make it feel like a, like, here's where you go up and down, sort of subtle nod kind of thing, but also kind of like a road. In this case, like, this is where warthogs would be going up and down. So it would make sense for it to be a little bit framed out. This is one of the primitive blocks. Ah, yes. We're gonna go with a floor. That way it won't scale in the two directions like that. I'm sure he got to a point where he was looking at that and going, and thinking about that. You know what might be kind of cool? Now that I've got the frame out and I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, what if we imply that this ramp can actually go down and connect to the... Like, we were talking about putting a freight elevator over here. What if instead of a freight elevator, we do something where, like, it opens at the top and goes down at the bottom into a ramp that goes down. So you would drive down here, open up the door, and then go down, instead of getting on an elevator. might be interesting. And we could make that open and be a really cool sort of like flavor piece for the map that they've got, that this like really interesting doorway opens and closes, which would be more dynamic objects. What am I doing? I'm always adding dynamic objects. What am I thinking? Let's go ahead and snap this over here so that it has, make sure it didn't interact with anything in there. Wasn't a problem. So then we've got this sort of frame out sort of shape to it. But yeah, like what if we have this, you know, what if we have these ramps? They would still be on the side, so you could still go up and down because of the frame, but the door in the middle would open whenever it becomes the big team battle map. Might be pretty interesting, I think. And we would want it to look like an actual like ramp. So what I'm thinking of, or like an actual like road kind of thing. So I'm actually thinking about going and grabbing the thing that I love so much, the Unisea road. I forget where it is. Unisea, I think it's called Unisea something. There it is, Unisea road. There we go. I love the Unisea road. I think this piece is amazing. There is one thing that bothers me, and that is that you can't recolor those. Ooh, let's just put a fresh one in and rescale it, the whole thing actually. You can't recolor the yellow lines. So the yellow lines are just the yellow lines. But one cool thing about it is that it really does feel like, oh, we can't rescale this thing if we're going to make it dynamic. So I don't know what I'm doing, even thinking. I can't use this. Okay, well, never mind. It would be kind of cool to work this in somewhere, though, like I was saying before about this being an entrance and exit. If I scale this to the width of this entrance and put a doorway there, we don't have to take advantage of the fact that it's got these slopes. We could make it go down into that doorway, but that would restructure his design and it wouldn't fit down here. So I'm thinking more along the lines of we bring it down to this floor and we use that as part of the block out. That does get rid of those concrete cubes I was talking about not liking so much, but that would be something we can figure out and or live with if it you know, if it makes sense to have an actual road coming in and out. I like how it almost creates an arrow here going in. I think that we could theoretically, you know, obviously if we're going to extend it outward to a doorway there, we're going to want this to be longer, but yeah. It almost might be cool to have it go outside the building. You know what I mean? Like if the storage is underground, right? If we're talking about the storage being underneath and then connecting across, then that would mean it would be like a triangle with the two ramps on opposite sides, and then the elevator being over there, which would be really cool, I think. I know I'm thinking about layout so much and talking about layout so much of the bigger version of the map. It's like, but he built this already. It's already done. We should be arting. But yeah, no, I kind of feel that way. But yeah. Anyway, if I do put a doorway, then I was thinking about the doorway being connected to something, but we could probably make it go outside and have an outdoor area around this side or something like that. Maybe with a landing pad or something like that, which might be interesting. Or maybe just a landing pad on each side and have it loop around this way. If that was the case, then what this would end up looking at, out the window you'd see space, you know, you'd see space up high, land down low, that looks like the sort of asteroid or whatever, and over here you'd turn and there would be like a landing pad for ships to be able to come and land and stuff like that. And then you'd have, you know, that would be a pretty cool, I think, combo. And then right here you'd have the doorway going to the additional, like the living quarters, so you'd be able to turn and like sort of like angle yourself over there. We might even be able to make it to where the sort of living quarters area, the crew quarters area here, would be able, the barracks I guess, would be able to look over at the landing pad from windows as well, which would be kind of interesting. Maybe even connect to it. Like if there was like a way above this, that wouldn't break this thing's view, but if there was like a walkway across to the barracks, then it would loop around back into the map some more. So I think that'd be pretty cool, because he's got it in like these like looping circles around it, like circles within, you know, connected to circles and stuff like that as his design, which makes it to where, and like the different floors have different rings and then they connect vertically, which is a really cool style of map here. And so I feel like if we continue that out with a Yeah, let me switch to mouse and keyboard really quick just to show. Well, I guess I could just use my mouse. It moves better. Anyway, if there was a barracks there, and then the barracks sort of looped back in like this to make a bigger concentric circle here, and then, but like its loop was like along there, so it looped around like that, and then there was sort of like an outdoor like ground floor area, and then if you go out too far, we can put like landmines or something. You know what I mean? Like don't go out there. What are you doing? You know what I mean? It's a bad idea. And we can pull like a Halo 3 style, you know. There are bombs. You'll get yourself blown up. So then that means that yes, having a road in and out here would probably be the cool thing. All of that just to say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this road here. But we gotta center it. I don't want it to be too clippy, and then I gotta scale it out to have it like that. And then we need to go mouse and keyboard, and hopefully it'll work this time. Did I? Yeah, there we go. Let's move it down into the floor, and we'll just use the clipping into the floor as our means of telling how high we need it. And, you know, I will see if there's a snapping point for it. Why did it do that? There we go. Okay, so... Actually, we could literally clip something through here and and make it... Did my music turn off? Or is it just one of those quiet moments? Yeah, there's a lot of those in Halo 2. I wonder if that's supposed to be there, or if it's because of the version I picked. OCOM has been telling me I need to hurry up and fix that, and I agree. I've been not doing it like an idiot. Anyway, so if I put like I could put like a light up thing there to show you, like, you know, because just to indicate like inward, you know what I mean? But anyway, another thing though is this could be a 2-lane road, and this is all 1-lane driving right now. If I did make it a 2-lane, then it would look like there's a lane going that way and a lane coming over here for like maybe parking right here. I feel like it might be cool to graphically... Hold on a second. This might be dumb. This might be crazy. This might work. There's no telling. Let's see. If I go with launchers and lifts, right, and I go with a... Can you turn this so that it doesn't launch you and just looks like a treadmill? Because if this lift looked like... If this ramp looked like treadmills that would carry something up, would be pretty interesting. I don't know if you can do that. Let me go to the settings and see if I can do launcher setting forward. If this was at 0, for example, would this, if it was all at 0, would it still launch me? I think it will. I think it's going to try to launch me. It's just going to launch me nowhere. It's going to make the weird noise and everything. So I don't think this is possible. But if it were, yeah, it even makes like a weird glow of light. That isn't going to work. I mean, I'll walk over there just for the experience of knowing whether or not it would make that noise. Which I'm pretty sure it will. Because the launcher doesn't know it's at 0 enough to know. Like, it's not... Yeah. And it even interrupted my movement. Yeah, no, that's not something that can be done. I thought that would be kind of cool, though, if I could put a animated treadmill, you know, right there as the ramp, where you'd still run up at the same, or maybe, you know, I could talk to him about wanting to see if he wants to script it. But, like, even one that's not moving, so I'll have to build one that's not moving. But, yeah, if it was something that looks like a lift for, you know, to bring supplies up here, I'm not sure what they would be used for up here. Maybe that's actually for the administrative to watch, you know? You've got... What is that thing going on with my feet? Oh, that's my effect. Huh. Your feet aren't visible, but your leg effects are visible? Interesting. Anyway, whenever you up your field of view. Anyway, so this will be like the administrative thing, right? But then like handling the loading and unloading. But maybe the reason this ramp is here is so that administration can actually come down here and apply. So technically this is administration, maybe the UNSC administration building that's handling all the personnel. That's the ONI building. where the weird, where the research into the Forerunner structure is, takes place. And then down here is where this little bit is showing. Okay, so now we've got the idea of like almost like UNSC versus Oni, and that's kind of cool. But let's keep on keeping on. So then basically this would be where the UNSC like command would walk up and down this ramp whenever they need to come down and like discipline somebody. Not the actual main command, but yeah, whenever they need to deploy troops or something like that. And if the landing pads are out there, and sort of connected to, like the landing pad is like maybe above the ground floor out here and connected across the catwalk to the barracks, then that would be a good setup. See, because all of this is important for the art, because I need to know where I'm going to put everything before, you know what I mean? Like I need to know that I'm going to put a helipad out here, and this is going to be outdoors, so that this can actually be declared, yes, this is the loading unloading zone. But I do like the idea of this doorway opening, of this being a doorway that opens and closes into the into like a subs area once it's more players, because that just sounds kick-ass. And having these ramps here would just be really cool. Okay, anyway, I'm thinking I think I need to start arting things. I do like the concrete. I want solid concrete. I think I want concrete up top, and then maybe we might even be able to do like a stone. Can you do, what does a natural stone look like? Does it have enough of a, what is going on here? I must have more than one object. I do. I've got something else selected. Okay. What I'm wondering is the lower design grid area. Oh, that's the top part. Concrete raw. Okay, that works. The lower design grid area, if I wanted to make it, well, that looks weird. If I wanted to make it look like, I actually haven't looked for this kind of, oh, concrete panels actually looks really cool, but we'll fall back on that if I can't find what I'm thinking. Brick sturdy, that doesn't feel like UNSC or Oni. That feels like a civilian. Anyway, okay, banished metal. I'm looking for something that looks like they carved into the the surface, the lunar surface, and then poured concrete on top. Like this is raw, but I just want to see what that would look like, and I want to see if it was something that they carved to be a flat surface, flat panel, but it's still. I'm hoping there's something with a normals map that'll like really bump up and like look really cool, like really stick out. You know what I mean? Not like actually changing the geometry, but looking like it actually, like, you know what I mean? Gingerbread light? What even is that? Okay, gold, metal, grass, gravel. Gravel might be what would be for best. That does look like raw. It's gravel too. That one looks really weird on the wall. That one would be fine on the floor, but not on the wall. That's grime. Icing. That looks weird. Leather. Did they fix the bug? Like, it's actually changing the texture properly, or am I just not going to see it yet? Hey, guys, did I miss something that maybe is on Twitter right now? Oh, no, it's... I don't think that's metal brushed. That's metal brushed. Yeah, it's not broken. It's not fixed. Never mind. Okay, for a second there, it really was working well, and then yeah. So this one isn't bad at all. I like that. It kind of blends well with this ground as well, and it looks like something where they sort of like carved into it. So I like that. It kind of clashes with the concept that he's got here, where some of this ground is floored and some of it is natural, but we could theoretically just like make it all natural here, and then make it, maybe instead of putting one giant circle, which I think he was just doing this as a quick little, because it's a block out, he wasn't fully arting yet, so he wasn't, he probably, he didn't have all this like loading zone concept in his head at the time, I'm sure. But basically, if I come off there with natural floor and then go into there and just have natural floor around this machinery, then I could theoretically have wait, was I saying natural floor? I meant paved. Like, if I have the structural floor around those machines, and then at the doorway frames, and then had natural floor for everything else, including this little catty corner, then that would probably work out pretty well. And actually, I could solve that catty corner right now by just expanding it that way, and then dragging it a bit, like that. will that adjust? Okay, that's messing up the ramp. But basically like that for now. Well, I thought I could. Maybe not. There we go. Now it's good. And that's sort of like a loose solution to it, but yeah. This is the floor over here. Maybe I shouldn't be messing with the block out portions so much. Oh, I can't undo the scale. Right. Alright, well, I'll just fix it then. There we go. That should solve it, and it won't clip in anything over here, right? Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, cool. Alright. So I'm actually going to save this version of the map. His published version has the testing mode. It'd be kind of cool if anybody wants to hop in, you can try it. I think he's got it published. So if anybody watching wants to go try it while I'm arting it, that would be cool. But otherwise, you know, that's the published one, and I'm saving off everything else. So, okay, so I need to replace this with a wall piece. Needs to be a... Okay. Gotta go to a square wall. Let's see, wall cube. Corner angled. Regular. Standard. Okay. So that would go there, and I believe that would touch just nicely right there. Okay, cool. So now I just need to set these to the same. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to set these to... What was it? It was pebbles. Did I pass it up? Maybe not pebbles. What was it? Rocks? What was it? Oh. It is concrete raw and gravel, not pebbles. Ah, gravel. Okay. F, G, gravel, 1. There we go. And this one is just 1 up, concrete raw. There we go. And then we can also add more detail to that as we go. Like for example, there could be like a strip of caution tape along the edge there to give the idea of like caution, you know, you could fall. And yeah, let's see. I almost feel like making it like a truck loading and unloading zone might be cool. Sorry, I kind of went quiet there when I was in the middle of thinking, but if there was a truck loading and unloading zone somewhere here might be interesting. And which we could do without changing the layout, but by just changing implication, like implying it. And so what I'm trying to do, what I'm thinking is accents vehicles. I just want to show it's a civilian van, forklift, UNSC cargo truck. I just wanted to show how, if the height, I wanted to see how the height works out here with this cargo truck. Not quite there. That's like halfway at best. So that's that's what a cargo truck's height would be. So let me make sure that vehicles can actually drive through this if we do make it open and close. Yes, they can. Okay. So basically, if we wanted this to, yeah, we could actually put a cargo truck down in the basement as part of the art, or outdoors. We've also got a cart, which is supposed to be like, I guess, some kind of remote ROV, like, work truck. It's such a low poly model. It makes me wonder if this was supposed to be far background in a mission or a level at some point, or a map, and they just put it in here because they had it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you go to try and scale this thing up, it's insane. It's insanely low polygon. You know what I mean? And I wonder if texture changing would even help. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, that's not related to this. Let's stop. We won't distract ourselves with that. Okay, so wear. If we put wear and tear on these, we want that to be on there because that was on yours and I liked it. Let's go with that. Color grime scratch amounts were higher, basically. Although, I'm not sure how much. Let's go all the way to 1. That draws our outline. What's going on here? Why are these? These are at 85. I guess is this a cube? Floor half A. So I guess the floor just just receives more scratching along the edges than walls. Which I guess makes sense after thinking back to what it was like to do waterworks. I'm like, yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense that you'd want that to be the case. But in this case, I do want plenty of scratches, so. Okay, this side has lots of scratching. But then, okay, anyway. Let's get rid of this and this. What is this stuff? Is this old blockout design? Huh. Yeah, this is the old floor, I guess. That's cool. Well, we'll get some, you know, resources back from that later. I mean, I could delete them now since I'm looking at them, but maybe I shouldn't. Because maybe you'll want to work something into... work something from there into the underground, you know what I mean? Into the basement level. Speaking of the basement level, with this, height of these blocks is going to be important down there because, you know, it will affect things. This will be a good ceiling, honestly, for a car garage, like a parking garage, you know, area. Style of, I don't know what they call that in Europe or anywhere else. In America, we call it a parking garage. It's just literally a giant building with a bunch of floors that park cars. And they tend to have pipes and things like that running through them because, yeah, you need that. They're also for lighting, they run the wires for the pipes, for the all the lights and stuff like that, because if you don't have that, but also for the fire suppression systems and stuff like that. Anyway, okay. So, in that case, by the way, this actually kind of would. What if instead of it, okay, what would make this easier? Right? What would make this a lot easier to animate later on, right, would be, we've got the idea of this being a ramp. What if it comes up and becomes like a railing up here almost, right? But then down here it actually slides down into the floor. And then there's already a ramp down there. So the ramp can look really nice and doesn't have to be the doorway. You know what I mean? In which case, yeah. That might be good. Why did my scale get adjusted? Did I accidentally hit something whenever I was in mouse and keyboard mode? That was weird. Anyway. Go ahead and save that. Okay, so this is, we've done very little, but we've been figuring out a lot. If there is a downstairs, we could also theoretically put a doorway over here, but we'll you know, work that out later. And this might be able to be worked into something that's underground. Like if these are like some kind of like pipe systems that go down into the floor, we could like, you know, have it part of the art down there, could imply that. But we would have to figure out where we're actually building stuff downstairs. I like the idea, like I was saying before, if there's a downstairs there and then you know, elevator over there and a downstairs here and elevator over there, then that would mean, and then this thing might be able to drop down into it, for example. It might all circle around the Forerunner object in the middle, which means it would kind of go out there, and that way, but then it might also cross through the middle, and then that is whenever we would have, like, these things might be able to connect down through the floor into something underground. We'll just try to figure that out later. But let's see. Okay, so we've got the ramp, and you've got the ramp has a nice, like, root, like, top to it, the same way that I was doing here. And maybe that was subconsciously what was inspiring that concept over here. But now that we have the clean line over here, that becomes a dirty line. So we need to block that, we need to move that up. Is this another, this is actually floor. Okay, cool. So this isn't, we're not looking at at another natural, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't need to do that. I need to, I can use the mouse and keyboard, flip it around, and scale it up. Oop, nope, I did not want, jeez. Okay, I'm pretty sure these are the same, so I'm going to duplicate that one. Oh, hold on. Delete that one and duplicate this one. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is only scale it on one axis instead of doing two, because we can't undo two things at the same time right now. And what I'm going to do is, I think the best bet... It might be to put one of these there and make it end right there and then put regular blocks the rest of the way. Like the kind that don't have the different textures. But let's see how that actually comes out. Let's see, like if I delete that one and put this one in its place, right? And then I go all the way down to there, find my point where they intersect. Let's see. Go real slow. There we go, they intersect there. And then bring this in to that same point. This might be the best way to do this. There are other ways to do it, but this might be it. We'll figure it out as it happens. Yeah, it's not bad. Although I am wondering what I'm gonna make this look like, because if this is just gonna be concrete looking, this would be the way to go. But if this isn't gonna look concrete, one thing I really like about that I would like to do with ramps that I've done in... Oh, what is this? Oh, hey Aaron, how's it going? I didn't see you come in, sorry. Yeah, so this is Ripshade's map that I was talking about on stream before, about really liking and agreeing to art for him. I really like it. It's a 4v4 map, and I realized we got like a month left on the Forge Hub contest, and Clint is behind me on his part of our other map, so I was like, well, what if I do go take a break from having to build dynamic object buildings and allow myself to scale and art properly by arting his map, and then see if I can finish it in time for this 4v4 contest. Then we'd have like a, you know, a cool idea. It's a really cool, fun map. What I'm messing with over here is trying not to mess with the block out, because the block out, I played on it and it's really fun. It feels very like classic Halo in its layout and design, which I like a lot. It's like circles and within circles. It's like concentric rings that he like almost like layered on top of each other and then built like ramps between them. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the vibe of it. I've seen this before. I was asked to art this. Oh, really? Well, I agreed to art this, so so I'm doing it now. So I'm you know, starting that right now. Some of the stuff he's already done, like this. This is a cool style of wall there. I might incorporate that over, incorporate that kind of look over here. But I was thinking of putting struts and supports and stuff like that over here instead, which might make me have to redo this part. Decline because it's space and I got no clue what I'd be doing. Oh yeah, I'm pretty good at UNSC and space and Oni, and I've got the idea to make this section like Oni. And what I'm doing is I'm going to make this the first map where I incorporate the idea where you have 4v4. If you have, you know, 8 players, it's 4v4. If you've got, you know, 16 players, it'll scale up and open more doorways. And he and I talked about it, and we're gonna add areas where like doorways open up and expand the map a little bit, which is going to be pretty cool. For example, this is going to be like a loading and unloading zone for, you know, supplies to the base. So there's going to be a giant door right here that'll be closed, and whenever you have big team battle, it's going to open up to an area that's like on a moon base style thing over here. Hey, has anyone done Aurora Borealis in Forge? I don't believe so, actually. I haven't seen it. I was thinking about doing a giant like making this moon base be in the middle of a nebula, so that background nebula is cool, but I was thinking about putting some smoke closer and trying to make it look like this is in a nebula. And then I realized that I like the way that these would be loading and unloading zones, and make them like a which he originally named it Moonbase. But I'm thinking like an asteroid store of like a rogue moon that's got a Forerunner structure inside that may be formed around a Forerunner structure. So he was always asking, like, he was asking me, he's not sure what this middle thing is, and he's gonna, you know, he was wondering what we could do with it. But yeah, hey, has anyone... Oh yeah, that's the same thing. For some reason it looked like something popped up there. Anyway, like a new comment. But anyway, the point is that but it was just the same thing you were saying before. I think... What are these for? One-way blockers. This must be from an older version of the map, or you're trying to keep there were some holes here, and you're just trying to fill them, maybe, or maybe what was it? You're trying to keep the this grav lift launching them in the right direction. I don't know. I'm not sure what you were doing there, Ripshade, but yeah, yeah. I put a comment here. Oh yeah, there it is. But yeah, Aurora Borealis. I said I got an idea on how I'd do it. Oh, and then you deleted it. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that would be cool. An Aurora Borealis one would be awesome. Oh, I see. These are all individual blocks as well. Cool. So yeah, basically I'm gonna try and art this out and make it really cool. Did you like it, by the way, Aaron? This map? Cause it got deleted? Did it get deleted? Or it says live chat. I didn't delete it though, it just hit itself. That's weird. Yeah. Community moderation, participant. I'm not sure what I did. What it's set to. I don't know why that got like that. But yeah. So this is very basic, and I don't know if I need to be making it this flat. I might actually make another block internal and then like recessed inside of there instead, and then go to supports. Where's supports? I passed it up, didn't I? Because I wasn't thinking about the name yet. Supports, and then going with, I really like, personally, I really like, well, this is one of them, that could work. You can scale that up in the right directions to make that one work. And then there's another one that's more of a rectangle, more of like a, did I pass it up? Is this it or something? What are we looking at here? No, it's not. Let's see. I'll test the Aurora thing in a bit. That'd be cool. I think the main, of course, difficulty will be distance, since the Aurora Borealis is, part of how cool it is how far away and how it wraps the entire sky, you know? So I know distance is going to be difficult, but you're really good. I got a test for you to do. Oh, yeah? I know you're really good at, like, figuring that stuff, the distance out and stuff like that, so I think that that's, probably not gonna be as big of a deal for you as I'm thinking, but yeah. What is your test? Let's see. I am going to, where's my, why is it scaling so slow? Oh, because no? Oh, it's not scaling at all right there because I was doing that. Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's definitely scaling slow for some reason. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I had to turn some stuff on. This is way too big. Let's see, can you spawn some eroded terrain real quick? Just like scaled at random. Yes. Is this supposed to be to test what it looks like in space? Because that's a really good question. Let's see. That's up here. Not in prefabs. No! No, that is not what I wanted you to do. Jesus. It's in biomes. I thought biomes was above accents for some reason just now. Okay, so we've got rocks miscellaneous, eroded terrain, D. Which one is it? Is it E? Oh, wow. That's interesting. Because there is no texture. Can it be... Can you spawn some eroded terrain real quick? See, can be anywhere. So this is interesting. In space, because there is no texture, it's loading a black texture. D. Yeah. Oh, you want eroded terrain D. Okay. What about it? We've got, it just seems to be working like normal. Is there something that was unusual happening on your end or something? Okay, just scale it at random outside play area. Oh, okay. Okay. What about it? Is what I'm wondering. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for. Yeah, this one's not necessary. Okay, now grab a cone and scale it up a tiny bit. A cone? Like an actual like basic where is it? The primitives cones. Just like a basic cone. Yeah, just a basic cone. Okay. He's going for a meteor flying. That's what Halo Outsiders said. Is that a reference to the Halo Insider? Okay, now place like 20 above this rock. Okay. I'm still very confused. Yes, it is. Cool. About the Halo Outsiders. I'm very confused as to what I am doing here. So confused, my brain is going, is it a prank? Like, what's he doing? What is he having me do here? Okay, so you said like 20 of them. I'm just gonna duplicate everything else. I've got roughly 10 right now. I didn't count, nor am I counting right this second. Yeah, no, I've got 11, it looks like. Boom. There. 10. There 20. There's actually 22 now. Okay, now select all the cones and press drop to ground. Oh, okay. I don't think he has any cones in this map. Pretty sure this is all of them, so I think I can just go in here and hit select all. Yeah, 22. Cool. Drop to ground. Look at that. It adhered pretty nicely to this terrain. Are you trying to do like the... Is this like that that thing where you can make them make another map for you and stuff like that? Oh, wait. Okay, all good. You can delete them now. Is this related to that AI that builds the map for you based on like Blender models where you or something like that? Or no, never mind. I thought it was an AI that I don't remember what it was. You put the cones down for the terrain. It's not related. Never mind. That's probably not related, is it? No, I didn't think so. Okay. What is that for? I'm curious. Now I'm like, why did you have me do all of that? You know, it'd be really cool, kind of cool is if they had like a script brain that would tell the objects to drop to ground, so they could like make a script brain, like, you know, node that it just activates drop to ground, so you could just put a bunch of objects and tell them all drop to ground, and it would just like line them up on the terrain wherever they are. You know what I mean? Do they have that? Because that would be really cool. I watched an Unreal Engine build that used cones for distant trees instead of actual trees. Oh, and you were trying to see if they would, yeah, line up. How's your day going, man? It's going pretty good, Germ Guy. Yeah, we took a break yesterday to do other stuff, but I'd mainly I was like, today I was like, I got to take a break from the dynamic object buildings. They're so frustrating, basically, trying to get them to work. So not that they're gonna be impossible, I just needed a break, that's all. But yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna send you it. Okay, sounds good. So you're gonna are you planning to use the cones because they drop better? The trees probably drop and weirdly and like still float, and then you have to adjust them and stuff, right? Is that what you're thinking? Or is it like, is that a solution to that kind of problem? Okay, so I can't seem to find the other one. I'm not sure what happened to it. I used it on my other map like 2 days ago. So I know it's in there somewhere, but can't seem to find it. So, but basically, a truss, or whatever you call that. Yeah, it is truss. Squared truss is what this is literally called. Okay. And then built up to the concrete layer. And then, actually, I feel like it should be this way, because that looks better, like it's pushing against that, instead of, you know, the other way around. And then I need to put it inside there and actually change this thing. Okay, synth. Cool. Let's see what that is. I'm so flabbergasted at this point. Okay, ooh, it's a video. Oh, okay, I guess I can't watch that on stream because it's someone else's video. I could get DMCI'd, but just to see, he just has cones, and he makes them into trees. Let's make this big, and then skip to where it is, because then I don't have to hit play. Okay, doesn't hold up for close shots, but from a distance and slightly out of focus, it's more than good enough. Yeah, that does look pretty good. Whereas trees would take up a ton of resources, yeah. So the trees would be for the close ones. And actually what you can do there is, if you wanted to, you could even, like, you can kind of tell these are just cones, even though those aren't, but, like, you could just put trees there that look close enough to the cones in appearance that, like, this all looks like trees, and then the ones in the front runners, you know, here, that would just be, like, the ones you can see the whole tree, including the trunk. You could put an actual tree there. Or make a sort of cone-based tree just for that point, you know what I mean? To try and make these look a little more realistic up front, but then the rest of them can just be cones. You don't have to use the full thing, and that would be a good thing, because that's, yeah. Do you want the full scene of it? Sure, yeah. Like, wait, like one you've made? Or is it like, are you saying like one that he made? In it for his video. So I don't want this to actually protrude, because I don't necessarily want there to be a weird grapple spot, like ledge you can walk on or anything. What I want to do is put this underneath this, the concrete block up top, which means the thing I did earlier where I made this block have the texture underneath and texture on top was not worth it. It's not necessary. And I actually I want this to be recessed, and then I want to, let's undo that, create an Arctic environment in Unreal Engine 5. Skip to render and color grading chapter. Okay.
So I'm
gonna pause it and move it over here. Wait, I've got to move it over here first, apparently, because before I go to full screen. Okay, so you said skip to, what'd you say, skip to, grading chapter. Okay. Is it near the rendering and color grading? Okay. That's pretty nice.
The renders, or totally change the mood of the shot. The usual things I adjust are contrast, a bit of bloom, film grain, halation. Really, it's a process of crapifying the renders to make them feel less clinical and clean, less CG, and making things feel a tiny bit more filmic, for lack of a better word. This is all personal taste, and what you like might not appeal to everyone, and that's okay. I'm working on an updated tutorial for color grading Unreal renders in DaVinci Resolve.
So that's why you're like,
sure
I want to see if someone's done Aurora. That's why you're thinking Aurora Borealis,
so
because you were seeing this.
Big thank you to
and you saw him do that, and you were like, that is a good idea. Why has no one done that in Forge yet? That makes sense. Yeah. See, those lights from the city are just an emissive ball. Really? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna pull that back over. The lights from the city are just an emissive ball? Like, hold on. Let's back it up.
What you like might...
How is that an emissive ball? How does that an emissive ball? What do you do? Oh, is it a bunch of emissive balls, like individual ones? Is that what you're saying? Because that makes sense. Huh. I thought you meant like one ball, and I was like, how? And now I realize what you're saying. I think you mean those are just a bunch of emissive balls for the windows and lights and stuff. That makes perfect sense to do. And that makes your distance for you. How do you pull off the Aurora Borealis? Is this where do you have some idea from this based on what he did there? From what you can do in Forge? Or is that like light objects and like actual like shining light or something? Because that's 340. Okay, 1340 I mean. 1340.
Is of varying sizes and an emissive glow on them to simulate light from a town or a city. This is totally personal taste, but adding these here gives the shot a kind of mood that gives me the warm and fuzzies, living in Norway, I see this kind of landscape all the time.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not replicating a Norwegian landscape, I thought it would suit the mood I was going for. I
Oh,
feel
man,
like it
that's
helps
so
tell
cool.
a story, make the environment feel more believable.
That is a great idea.
But anyway, it's personal preference, and again,
Alright, I'm doing that in a way. Alright, okay, listen. You gave me an idea now. So, if I go in here, and I go biomes, and I go, let's say, space, rock, and I pick a really pretty, like one that's cool looking from a distance, is just it. I don't have to make it a super detailed rock, right? And I put this up really far away. And then I put a cluster of lights. Actually, where are we on the map? Because I don't actually know that. We're on the ground center of the map. Okay, so I can go to like one whole corner away, right? Am I on... Can I go faster? There we go. That's much faster. And I go all the way to the corner, right? Then I go ahead and... Is there an object down here? There is. Oh, it's the bot. I see. Okay. Anyway, and I go a little higher so you can actually see it from inside the map, and I put some random emissive object balls on here. I can make it look like there, and maybe some cubes, some like regular cubes or random basic objects. I could make it look like there's another space, like base over here, you know? I can be like, I wasn't even thinking in terms of putting a second base in the sky, but now that you've sent me that, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go in here, primitives, just some basic spheres, like we did with the moon. Oh man, this sphere would be cool to see from a distance. With the hexes on, with these like this detail, it looks like a space. Like, okay, why is my music just randomly stopping? Come on, man. Right in the menagerie again, every single time. I'm not crazy. It's actually happening every time, right? That every time the menagerie comes on. Okay, so like that doesn't have to glow yet. But if this one has a different texture for the trim as from the like the paint, yeah, I can. Can I make this one emissive? Okay, so if I come up here to Forerunner emissive is less bright, so I might want to do that one. Because then you'll be able to see the railing to some extent. The render distance, my graphics may not be able to see the railing. So for me, it'll look like a light ball, you know? But to someone with 4K graphics and a better rendering, better graphics turned up, you know, they might actually be able to see that little railing. And otherwise, I could theoretically even go like this and actually make it visible from a distance, even for me, where it's got... You can see it's like glowing light. It's got the rails and stuff like that. Let's see. If you're listening to the ODST soundtrack, Traffic Jam is my favorite song. Lol. The bass lines are dope. Yeah, and like this gray line, yellow line. I mean, this yellow line is a little bright. I don't know if I can reduce the amount of emissive on the metal parts, but it looks pretty cool. Another option would be like. That's foil insulation. Well, that kind of looks cool, but I don't think you'll be able to tell. But if I go for like a gold, which is best to do with brown metal, brown like shininess, then it would have this kind of effect, and then I can put a bunch of small balls on there. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks like a space station. And then I can put some small ones. I watch these Unreal Engine videos and apply knowledge from said videos to Forge. Yeah, no, this is great. This is a great idea. You definitely found a golden concept. And then what I can do, actually, from a distance, that yellow is too much. Like it's turning into the gold at this point. So if surely this is the yellow trim, right? Yeah, there it is. So if I make that black, I feel like it would be better from a distance because it's in space. It'll make it feel like it's, you know, dark and distant. And then we put some tiny regular primitive spheres. And we set them to emissive. Oh, do I need to get up again already, guys? Yeah. Feels like I just started, but yeah, that's because I started late today. I hear you. Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna get up. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm coming. I'm coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, I'm coming. Let's see. Let's put them in places you can actually see and turn off snapping. Like a bunch of clusters of them. Unfortunately, we can't do the randomly selected, like randomly adjusted thing. But what we can do, buddy. He's like putting his head up through my arm. Okay, it's okay, buddy. I'm gonna help you in just a second. I'm gonna come get you a snack lunch thing. Where are we? Oh, I duplicated that. That's not what I wanted. Okay, just the lights. And then I'm gonna hit the snap to ground. I'm gonna duplicate. I'm gonna do this, right? I'm gonna rotate it a bit. Maybe flip it around. So we've got a bit of a scatter effect to sort of get a random layout, right? And then I'm going to select, I don't know if he has spheres on his map, and I don't know how many I have, so if I select all, I don't know if it's going to, I won't be able to look at the number and say for sure that that is how many I have. Anyway, then we go snap to ground, and we fly away. Oh, what? Oh man, they stop rendering because they're so small. Uh-oh. When you have time, watch the Unreal Engine video in full. Yeah, don't do them too small because of the draw distance. Yeah, Germ Guy knew. Germ Guy knew it was going to happen. Okay, so Germ Guy knew exactly what was going to happen. So I've got to find a way of doing that without that, and I think, here's an idea. I bet there's an object. Don't know where it would be, but I bet there is an object that has a bunch of little protrusions on it. That when scaled, rubble is made of rocks. You could theoretically set this thing to emissive, let's see, and use it. Does it have an emissive object option? Ugh, wait, oh right, I went up instead of down. Yeah, E, yeah. Anyway, if you theoretically, you could scale this up, or maybe one of the other rebel ones, and still do a smattering of things, but the draw distance wouldn't affect it. It'd still be a bunch of little lights. Okay, I'm too far away for this one, I think, because at this distance it disappears. But I had to scale up even more. But because LOD is based on, typically, in most games, let's see if this is the case here. I'm pretty sure it is. Typically, LOD is based on the scale of the object. So if you scaled it up in the editor, yes. Yeah, there you go. If you scale it up in the editor, its draw distance is better. Like you were saying, if you scale it down too small, it'll disappear. So we could use, okay, I don't think he has any spheres. I'm going to try and see what happens if I select all there. I didn't look at how many I had placed whenever I selected them all, but 15 feels right. I think that's all. I think I placed 5 and then I duplicated it 3 times. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. So maybe not these, but we will. But there's probably an even better object for this. But basically, and it's all flat because I only scaled it in one direction or in 2 directions. Let's make it 3D a little bit so that it takes to the. He's saying Master Chief, by the way. He wants to play Halo in the other room. Let's see. If I bring this down here, and then I can poke it through in sort of random locations to make a scattering of lights. And they won't be perfect circles, so they might be a little strange, but that might actually help lend to them being buildings. I'm in a kill zone. I don't even know if you can see that from anywhere on the map right now. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just fly up and view it from this mode. Yeah, that looks interesting to begin with. I was already thinking about putting some up on top of the ridge as well, because I think that would be kind of cool, because this structure spans all the way up the ridge, so I feel like it would make sense for them to have some of them up here, and some of them down there. I feel like I need to tilt it a bit, so that it kind of, yeah, what if some of them are poking out of the side of the cliff? Like they're built into the structure, I mean to the asteroid, and then I could do another group of them, and this is just 3 objects now. because I'm not having to do spheres. And we can scale it down this way, because there's a lot of them that kind of stretch out a lot from that. And then tilt it and put a few, just a smattering of lights poking out like this through the cliff. And from a distance, it almost looks like... I'll have to adjust that. I feel like it almost looks like glowing rocks, like glowing like crystals or something at this point. But maybe from a distance it will... No, it's registering now as a structure. Not as a small town like he was trying to do, where we all know what that looks like. But as a moon base, which is a little bit harder to identify. I think this is actually part of the problem, is that I have too many of them protruding over here, and not enough protruding on this side. And I think that the part of the problem is my rotation angle is snapping to too much of it. Like maybe something more like this. I don't know. But the point is that I think we're getting there. Yeah. I don't know though. We'll have to figure it out. And I can put another space rock there to sort of eat up some of the other lights. But anyway, the point is that you could also put some over here, and go up the cliff like that. There we go. Some like nice angles there, and sort of connect it into the rest of it. And I feel like that would help make it feel like part of the structure. And then maybe another golden sphere or something to that effect would be another good, by having, or a tower, like a giant gray tower with some lights on it, would look like a good structure over there. Anyway, that's not even part of this. That's arting out the background, but it's working good. It's not the actual arting of the map yet. It's the arting of the map's, you know, backdrop, which is very cool. I really like the idea of putting like I don't know, let's go to UNSC and let's grab a computer terminal, right? Something like this. Actually, there's a couple of computer terminals that have a bunch of little buttons on them. Then I might have to go to terminals to find that. That might be the best one. Let's see, wires, workstations, that's it, not terminals, but yeah. So like if you've got one that's covered in buttons, and you rotate it, okay, and you rotate it sideways, and you put it like this, and you scale it up, and you put it inside that thing, right? And then you set those buttons as they're on their, one of these is the buttons, or some of the buttons. At least on one of these there's a keyboard, and the buttons are part of this. And the light up effect applies, like if you go to, yeah, I know, don't worry. I'm almost done. Just chill. It's okay, it's okay. You wanna play Master Chief? I know. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Forerunner emissive. There we go. Some of the buttons have lit up. So from really far away... Oh, those are too small. It's because the LOD of the actual structure itself, I think, is probably depreciating the buttons out of the model in the first place. Like, it's becoming a flat model, so the switches are gone. So I need to find one of the others might be the one that we're looking for. Okay, that's the panel. And this is the rest of it, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, this one may not be the one, but yeah. Hello, new streamer. Aaron just said hello to you. He said, hello, new streamer. He's like, wait, there's someone on there? It's like, I am only, you know, just shy of 3 years old. I had no idea that, that it could even have someone talking to me on there. Let's see. Let's see. So those switches don't work, but something like this is what I'm trying to say. If you have, let's just scale it up. No, it won't go any higher. That's as big as it gets. But anyway, if I had something like this object that has these sort of objects on it that can turn emissive, then from a distance they would look like windows. Like right around here they kind of work. You can kind of still make out that those are computer terminals. But from a distance, if they were big enough, if the areas that became emissive were big enough, then from the building, so So I'll just play around with some different objects off stream or something. From the building, it would look like a tower. I've got it positioned too centrally in that sphere. I feel like it needs to be a tower that's back here, or even off to the side. And it still doesn't feel like it. Next generation of quickscoper. Yes, exactly. And then over here we can go to antenna, and everyone can identify an antenna shape, but we're going to put this weird antenna up here. Let's snap to ground, rotate it, scale it a bit, put it down inside of there to some degree, and make it look like it's part of the structure. And I feel like that's getting somewhere. But I don't like the gray. Like the way that it's this gray, I would put it as black. I would set this to, if this was the object I was going to go with, I stopped messing with the colors because of that, but I would go with black and make those lights show up as like window looking lights on a black backdrop. And then you can kind of see the just vaguely the antenna, and it's enough to sort of like, if you zoom in, you can kind of see it, and it's enough to give the silhouette of a really cool building and like structure and like of another moon base. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Let's do that. Okay, so everybody started leaving, and I think it's because I was talking about having to go, and I usually whenever I say that, everyone starts going and it starts leaving immediately. Instead of sticking around to see, you know, when I like to until I leave, you know. But yeah, this I really like, and I'm totally gonna stick through this wall. It's kind of protruding a little too much to break up that line, but if I flip it around and use this side instead, it'll be just fine. And in which case, I don't need to be so tall. Oh well, I do actually. I don't want to break up that. Oh, I don't want it to go all the way to the floor, because then it like sticks out. Yeah, never mind. I need to make this a little shorter and then go up there. This is not right yet either because it's protruding, but I'm liking this for this wall, so that's probably going to be how I do that. And I might even work one into this wall as well, but probably not. This one up here looks like it should have one, but as soon as you go underneath, it's gone. It doesn't work anymore. But anyway, yeah, it's a cool strut, like truss thing. Anyway.
Play magic.
Yep. He's off. Well, I'm gonna go set him up. He's off to go play Master Chief and melee attack his Marines. Because he kills the Marines for their guns. I try to teach him, but he's too young to understand. One day he will understand. They are his allies, and he will stop killing them. But yeah, okay, so we did very little actual arting, but we discussed how I'm gonna art it, which room will be what room, and started on it. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Not, I guess tomorrow, but yeah. And yeah, see ya.